number 10 for the year, Aleph by Paulo Coelho. I love Paulo Coelho. I have read most of the books that he has written, and Aleph has a very special place in my life, like the Zahir and the Alchemist. Aleph talks about a journey. It's rather autobiographical. I have gone through many a news reports, tried to find the people in it, but very, very well preserved secret of the main characters. Um, it's a train journey through Russia, and what happens where Paulo Coelho is trying to find something about his past life and how he grows through it. It's about a girl who is young and is going through so many emotions, and somehow it's connected to her past life. But more than that, it teaches you to be in the moment, to take care of yourself. And it is, it takes you, it travels through time, it gives you insights into how young women all across the nations who killed, massacred because they were witches or they had powers. It talks about the shamans and older, more forgotten rituals and lives and people. So if you want to read something mystical, magical, Aleph is your book. The next book that I read right after it is Alan Watts' Tao, The Watercourse Way. This book, my God, was the perfect book after Aleph because it's on a completely different tangent. It's written by a scholar. It is very knowledgeable and well thought through book about the writing of Mandarin or Cantonese or a Chinese script, the Chinese way of writing. Now, what I've learned is that the Chinese do not have an alphabet. And what Alan Watts is trying to tell us is that the language was derived with forms and patterns. Like if the wind, how would you draw wind? You'd kind of do this, or water, and that was taken and drawn on papyrus, on paper, and when the brush stroke fell, it would leave a certain way. You go with the paper instead of against it, and how the water absorbs it, and how then that language, um, how that way of writing that language is, Alan Watts says, better than the alphabet that we use, English, German, Hebrew, anyone. Because here it's ever changing, like the dimensions around us. There's no formal way of learning. I can't say eye and heart, but I can say the seeing heart, and that would mean that the two forms would combine. It's very, very beautifully written. A great insight into the culture, in the writing culture of the Chinese in that sense, and of course the script that they use. It's simpler. Uh, One of the things that shocked me is that someone who cannot learn or is poor in reading and learning, children especially, when they're taught to write the Chinese way in this script, they learn much faster because it is ideogrammic, if I'm using the word right. That means it has a lot to do with images, and images becoming words. Another thing that really caught my eye is that when the Chinese wants to speak to you, or when they're speaking, they'll start drawing with their hands or in the air to signify. Hands are very important in all of our language, and this book was very insightful. And as a human being, it tells you, forget the script and the alphabet aside, we are water and earth, and we have a certain flow, the la, li. And if you go into that flow, you're not going to have to fight it or twist an arm. It will just naturally flow from you. Well, two books, Tao the Watercourse Way and Aleph, book number 10 and 11.